What's up, guys? So, as you've seen, last video, we put Steven's transmission in. Big shout out to him once again. That is very nice of him, letting me use his transmission to get out one more time this year and try this thing and see if it will be fast. So, we head down to Cedar Falls Raceway. I went down Friday night, races on Saturday, and spent the night with Brandon and McKenna, and it was a blast. It was very fun to see them again and see their new house and all that good stuff. We had a heck of a time. So then Saturday morning, we get up and it's very, very cold. I mean, the whole car was white with frost from sitting outside all night. And yeah, it was like 28 degrees or something. And we headed out to the racetrack. So walked the track a little bit. It didn't feel wildly sticky, but they sprayed it afterwards. So I was kind of just like, well, we'll go with the usual tune-up. Kind of started off maybe a little bit on the lighter side and go for it. So in this race, you get 2 test passes, so you're going to see number 1 right now. So, pass 1, just seen it. I don't know what, but it seems like on a real cold day, if you're like one of the first couple cars to go down, which I wasn't, there was maybe 20 runs prior to me. It just seems like it always hits the tires. As you seen last weekend, it did the same thing. So, I don't know what the deal is with that. Always seem to make a little air pressure and suspension adjustment, and she comes right out of it, and you can turn it up from there. But yeah, kind of weird. Usually I feel like it's all tire pressure related. It just does some weird stuff, and it didn't really hit the tires bad. It just kind of shook them for maybe half second or so, but I just kind of drove through it because it wasn't really that bad, and the car was staying pretty square. So didn't really go all that fast, but the 60-foot was pretty terrible because of all that stuff. So kind of just blew that one off and headed back to the pits. And I made some changes. I just loosened the shocks up a little more. It seemed like maybe it was just because it was really cold that they were kind of stiff. It didn't really travel like it normally does. And then we actually just went up a little bit in air pressure. Just it seemed like usually when they're shaking, it's kind of wadding the tire up a little bit. So went up in air pressure, loosened the shocks, really tried to drive the rear end in the ground. And yeah, I think that was same tune-up I went out on second time. Maybe I turned it up, just the boost up, just over the whole track, just a little bit. And went for it again. So pass 2 coming up. So pass 2 was a heck of a lot better, as you've seen. Still didn't do the number it was supposed to. So maybe not supposed to, but running what it should. Should be a heck of a lot faster than it is. I mean, you can basically do anything you want it to, and it'll run the same 60-foot every single time. I mean, just doesn't really make any sense. So then I started wondering. I mean, I drew Troy Lowry first round. He's got a badass new Edge Mustang. It's very fast. I'm like, I can't be dinking around or I'm going to get my ass whooped. So I started talking to Steven and just shooting some ideas at him. We looked at a couple plugs and he decided, well, let's put 2 degrees in it and add a little boost to it. I'm like, okay. So put 2 degrees in, added some boost, and put a new spark plug in both fronts. So then we could pull them after the run, see what they looked like, and kind of go from there. So it was starting to heat up finally, so the track was actually getting a little bit better. So I wasn't really worried about spinning the tires or anything, but I knew that he would probably go down and it'd probably be pretty fast. So just tried to do what I could, left on a lot of power, and yeah, you'll see that.
I don't know.
Once again, first round duck, of course. So that's all right though. You know, we're out here learning and no big deal. Troy's got a super fast car. He blew by me probably 300 feet out or so. So we'll get her figured out, but his car's working real good and it looked good going by me, I can tell you that. So during the pass, as I was going down the track, I could hear the thing just screaming and it barely dropped RPMs on the shift. And I was like, looks like it's probably making like 36 pounds of boost again. And so, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, kind of just run the pass out, got beat, whatever. And so then head back into the pits and sure as shit, made 36.5 pounds of boost. And I was looking too, and we only added timing around 30 PSI. So it ran right over where we increased all the timing. So timing was virtually the same and it made no difference. So I pulled the plugs out and looked at them, and there was no timing mark on it at all, which means it's probably super conservative. And so we elected to go just make a test pass after that on the exact same timing table and then get the boost to run actually in that area of the table. So headed back up and went for a test pass. So you'll see that now. So that test pass ran against Tony in the Bad Cobra, and that thing is flying. That was actually his PB in that car, so congratulations to him. Good work, Tony. That car is unbelievably fast. Mine, of course, just did the exact same thing that it's been doing all year. And, you know, just an average mid-fives pass for 31 pounds or whatever it made. But it did make it into the spot for the whole run, basically, where we increased the timing. And I pulled the plug, and it just barely had a timing mark going. It was right at the very, very tip of it. So that would tell you that it can take more timing. So we're kind of debating and thinking about maybe taking just a little bit of fuel out of it and see what happened, but I just elected, you know, I was happy with it. A car runs, it's probably just time to put it on a dyno. So that's kind of my next move. I'd like to put it on a dyno and see what it actually does, because if something's wrong with it, it should make 900 on 30 pounds, where, you know, typically it should probably make around 1,200 on 30 pounds. So that'll probably be the next move. Just kind of put it on there and see if we can figure out what's going on. The converter's slipping like crazy or what? I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense on what's happening. So that'll be a good thing to do. I think it's all in due time. And maybe if Steven wants to, he can clean up my tune a little bit. That'd be great too. I know the thing's probably got a little power left on the table, but one thing I did learn is if it's like a colder plug, you can kind of chase the timing mark and you can hurt stuff. So that's kind of interesting to know. I never really knew that. And yeah, so probably a good thing I didn't keep adding a bunch of timing to it, trying to chase the timing mark and maybe pop a head gasket or something bad like that. But yeah, it was pretty much just another typical day at the track. Car didn't really do what it wanted to do, but it is back here running, so I can't really complain that much. Had a great time. It was awesome. I talked to a lot of people. That's always a fun race. I love going to that race. It's fun to go hang out with Brandon and see all his pals and do all that fun stuff. So it was a great time. I'm sure I'll be hopefully getting this car on the dyno here in the next few weeks and just see what it's all about and see, is it making power? Is it not making power? Is the converter mad? It's just a lot more of a controlled environment, you know, to put it on a dyno and really try to decipher what's going on. So I think that's the next plan with it. Gonna buy a shit ton of spark plugs and just go with it. See if we can figure something out with this thing. Otherwise, I really have no idea what's going on. But things I'd like to do, swap coils. I mean, you don't really swap converters, but if it needed a converter swap, that would be all right. Maybe swap plug wires too. I mean, just got to try things, kind of not really throw parts at it, but I mean, I'm sure the push rod length and everything is perfect. It was measured off the same head that's on it now and the same lifters and everything. So none of that stuff can really be messed up. I just don't know. Been talking to a lot of people as well, and saying maybe that I need to leave on less RPM because I'm upsetting the converter basically up high. So I would like to try it. I wish there was more test events coming, but I really can't at the moment. Everything is basically done for up here for the year. So maybe that'll be a thing to try next year, but I sure hope I can figure out what's wrong with this thing before next year, because that would be a long time to wait to know. So that's about gonna wrap up this video, guys. Sorry for the boring garage films instead of talking at the track, but I just kind of got hectic. And I didn't have any GoPro films because my GoPro was actually dead, so that was no good either. But that's how she goes sometimes. It was a good day at the track. Car still runs, can't complain. We'll get this thing figured out. I'll make some more videos, and life goes on. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.